Minds, broad hosts, but not just for broads. This is Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall.
Good morning, Kim.
Hi, Jackie.
Welcome back to town. Kim was away.
I was away.
Hey.
I was away in Seattle on a white rafting. No, what'd I do?
Whitewater rafting?
Whitewater. That's like such a tongue twister.
Whitewater rafting.
Whitewater rafting with a really hot rafting guide. Is it bad that I wanted to fall off the boat so he could save me? With my kid, it was weird. I was having this weird moment. I wanted to protect my kid, and then I was like, kind of want to fall off so the hot guy can come save me.
Did you tell your son just to call him Daddy?
No, he probably would have jumped off and then expected me to just leave him there.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a great show in store today. Melanie Notkin.
Woohoo!
Savvy Auntie.
Are we going to say auntie?
Yes, we are going to say Auntie.
Auntie.
Are you? Well, what do you say, Auntie?
Auntie.
Savvy
I'm
Auntie.
from Chicago.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what she says. She's from New York. Anyway, we're taking your call, 661-298-5487. So let's do a little segment we like to call
Broad
Topics.
That's going to be funny. That reminded me of that skit from Saturday Night Live with the
Sweaty balls.
Yeah.
Can we say that here
Peter, yeah.
on the radio? All right, so how about that crazy restaurant owner who yelled at a toddler, a 2-year-old, for screaming in the restaurant, crying, whining, all of the things that our kids have done. And at first, I feel like the internet was like, parents, you should keep your kids in control. And they were all on her side.
Right.
And then, she's like an onion, like a crazy lunatic onion.
Okay, well, let's back up. So in Maine, there was a husband and a wife and their 20-month-old baby. They were in a restaurant. I guess it was raining outside. They ordered 3 large pancakes. It took a long time, and the baby started to lose its mind and was antsy.
But supposedly the pancakes were on the table, whatever. So Tara Carson finally, she's the mom, she finally spoke out. But we uncovered, it's not that difficult to uncover, but the original post on Facebook, on Marcy's Diner's Facebook page from Tara, who says she had the worst experience. The owner's an absolute lunatic, screamed in the face of my almost 2-year-old child because she was crying. Who in the right mind would behave like this unless you're deranged? If you have a problem with the child, you're not suitable to run a business, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And so then the owner responded back.
He said lunatic.
And the said lunatic, and said it all started because your party needed 3 full-size pancakes for this 2-year-old. 3 effing pancakes at Marcy's. So she goes off and lots of F-bombs, and she says, there was one thing. She says, I've never shied away from being physical. I was in your husband's face, and then she called him without any...
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but we have some audio. Peter, did you know we have audio? Let's listen to the restaurant owner before we make any more judgments. How about that?
Okay.
Child acts up for a long time, I might snap. And I do scream at times, but that's all it is. Just leaning over the counter and yelling.
Can you sort of reiterate what happened yesterday? Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
What happened?
After listening to a child scream at the top of her lungs in my very busy restaurant, I screamed at her and told her it had to stop. Her parents didn't want to leave. They didn't seem to even notice that she was crying. Maybe it's normal. I don't know. I don't care.
And you seem like you're just shaking it off.
I am.
Yeah. Why is that? You're not worried other people who saw it might not want to come back here, and people who are seeing this thing go viral?
You know what? Life's full of choices, and you got to live with all of them. I chose to yell at the kid. It made her shut up, which made me happy. It made my staff happy. It made the other 75 people in the restaurant happy. And they left. They may never come back. Other people may not come in. They're lost, really.
Are you sorry at all?
I don't know if sorry would be the proper word. I might have used poor judgment. I wouldn't say I was sorry because it stopped. When things stop, it's usually a good thing. All I said was I slammed my hands on the counter and I said, "This needs to stop," meaning her screaming. And I pointed at her and she looked at me and she stopped. And her parents said, "Are you screaming at a child?" "Yes, I am." And she shut up.
And you said it was pretty bad parenting?
Very. They didn't, I don't know if they knew she was there.
So
They ordered 3 pancakes.
anyway, that was she went on and on and on. Clearly too long for the show. But she, what do you think, Kim?
I think, my God, we just complain about everything. There's a part of me, because I am the parent, that if I ever had a Nancy child in a restaurant or anywhere public, that I would remove my child from that situation, because I do think that it is disrespectful and insensitive to other people in my space and in my purview to allow my child to lose it. She said she didn't want to go outside because it was raining. But you can get up and walk around. You can go to the bathroom. It sounds like she didn't do a lot to soothe her child. I don't know.
Right.
I also think that the owner of the restaurant has a right to try to protect the quiet time of the other people in the restaurant. She could have handled it differently. But I don't know. I'm kind of in both places. I think she does sound a little deranged, but I think that's what the appeal is to her and her restaurant, probably. I asked my son this morning about the situation. He said, well, no one should ever yell at a baby, especially if it's not yours. And then he said, and how come the lady just didn't walk out when the baby was crying? So my kid, very much like me,
11 years old, and he knows.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, that this woman, the mom, wrote a post on Facebook just to say, like, this was crazy. This was my experience, our experience. And then that response. And the fact is that it's been reported everywhere.
Right.
Like, it's amazing to me what social media has done to a moment that was like, I will never eat there again. And I'm hope that I let their Facebook people know. And now, like, the media knows and everybody knows. And here we are talking about it.
Right. Well, Marcy's Diner, if you go back on her on her Facebook page, she's continuing the conversation, and people are writing in and sending her flowers, and people are also calling and ordering 3 pancakes over the phone, and it's been a big joke, and I'm sure she's getting
I would go just with a bunch of kids and but we have to go to break. But when we come back, we're going to have Melanie Notkin on the phone, and also later in the show, the shirt that has everybody in an uproar, Target's trophy shirt. Why I'm wearing it today and how you can win it. We'll be right back.
Well, thanks for staying, Jackie.
Thanks. I had nothing else to do this morning, so here I am. But I'm excited to stay because we've got Melanie, Savvy Auntie, on the phone with us. Good morning.
Melanie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks.
How are you?
Excellent.
Good.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, can you solve an argument that we're having here? How do you say? Do you say Savvy Auntie? How do you say it? From being from New York.
However you prefer.
How do you say it?
Well, my nephew and nieces call me Auntie.
Yes.
But we often say Savvy Auntie because it's more rhythmic. And the truth is, most Americans pronounce it Auntie, not Auntie.
And they're wrong.
And actually, I have that all in my book, Savvy Auntie, The Ultimate Guide. But either way, again.
All right. Well, I like to say auntie.
Because Kim will say auntie and I will say auntie. So we are representing both sides of the coin. Because it's funny because even with my kids on my husband's side, they're from California. So they call, they refer, my sister-in-law refers to herself as Aunt Pam. And I'm like, every time she says it, I'm like, auntie. I just say sometimes, outwardly and sometimes just in my head. So
well, my family was the same. My mother's parents and family were they were from England, and so they were, of course, auntie. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was also part of just being on the maternal side. I should be auntie, right? Like it's a generational thing. But I called my aunts auntie. So yeah, either way.
So either way is either. Way back in 2007. Wait, what year is this? You've been doing this. Savvy Auntie. You launched a long time ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
I launched SavvyAuntie.com in July 2008, so it's exactly 7 years ago this month. Wow. And it came because I realized that there were no resources for the modern cosmopolitan aunt. Everything seemed like an old gray-haired aunt when it came to that woman who loves the children in her life so much. And I saw myself much more of a Carrie Bradshaw than that, or even more so than an Auntie Mame. It also seemed old-fashioned, and also I created it because there was a market gap. Everything that I wanted to know or needed to know for my nephew and nieces to be a hero at holiday time, at birthday time, or just every time I saw them, I found that there was nobody talking to me. The media wasn't talking to me. Marketers weren't talking to me. Politicians weren't talking to me. Aunts have been left out of the conversation. And by the way, when I say aunt or aunt, it's by relation, the ABRs, or the ABCs, the aunties by choice. I have an auntie by choice, my Auntie Marilyn. Those are the women who, is mom or dad's good friend and become like an aunt who's family to the child. So that's where it started from, and since then there have been a lot of other wonderful things that have come through that and with that. But yeah, it was 7 years ago in July.
Did people think you were nuts for starting this site?
Well, people think anybody who's starting their own company are nuts, right? To some degree.
Right.
And frankly, the people who love you the most are going to tell you you're nuts because they don't want you to fail.
Right.
So, yes, more than nuts, maybe they didn't say that to my face. They probably said that to themselves.
Right.
But, maybe they didn't know me as well as I know me, that when I'm determined to do something, I do it. But also because I just knew I'm a marketer by trade, and I knew that this was an untapped market of literally tens of millions of women, and who want to connect, be the hero with niece or nephew, but also just as women in general want to be talked to, and not assumed that they are mothers. And while Savvy Auntie is also for moms, primarily it's for the demographic I dub PANK, professional aunt, no kids, of which there are 23 million women age 18 plus who don't have a child of their own, but have a child in their life by relation or by choice. So they may have thought I was nuts, but, joke's on them.
Right, but I would imagine that you were pretty vocal back then anyway, so maybe, they were welcoming you having an opportunity to connect with other women and to make something out of this thing that was probably gnawing away at you and that you were vocal about.
Well, and I love that you celebrate this because, I have been an aunt since I was 9 years old. I have 10 older siblings, and this has been such a huge role in my life before children and even after children that, I have over 30 nieces and nephews, and I just absolutely adore them, from the little babies who I can't wait to see next week to, the ones that are in their 30s and have their own kids. It's just, there's this place in your heart for, like you said, whether it's blood relative or, by choice, but these kids mean so much, and that I like that there's a place to, to celebrate that in your role.
Thank you. And in fact, women who, and this is anecdotal, I don't have scientific data around it, but in my experience running the site for as long as I have, or this community as long as I have, which I, by the way, dubbed the entourage, AUNT, our own little tribe.
We could be here forever with all these.
Our aunt friends. That women who are aunts before they're moms maintain that very connected relationship with those nieces and nephews before they had their own kids, because that was a bond that they had that was uninterrupted before they had their own kids.
Right.
And what I say, frankly, about aunthood is, we're not their mom, we're not their friend, we're their aunt, the perfect blend.
Oh, I love it. Well, when we come back, we're also going to talk about Otherhood, your book, and I think that, well, we'll just have to tease that, and when we get back, we'll talk about it. We'll be right back.